I don't see a blue light on this.
It's facing me now.
Ah, so Mike can see. All right. So hopefully this sounds good. We did a couple tests before we went live for the real live. So anyways, we'll skip past that. So for the lives, what we generally try and do is we do a lot of Q&A. With the channel getting bigger, it is hard for me since the beginning of the channel. It has been mostly me, and then Mike helps a little bit with answering, responding to comments and answering a lot of the questions. But as things have grown, it's been very, very difficult for us to do that. So with the Q&A on the lives, we're able to answer some of the really common questions that we get asked like 15 times in every video and every social media post. So, and also in DMs and different stuff like that. So we'll be doing a bunch of that. So if you have some questions or something you want to ask, try and ask it. Mike's going to be watching and answering some questions in the background. I have the little lapel mic set up, which we're hoping is working okay now that we're in.
Sounded good.
Okay, good. So we're using Mike's phone. My phone was definitely the big problem there. But Mike's going to be answering the questions. He's going to read some off if he sees some interesting ones occasionally. Once we're going smoothly with the live, we're going to probably pick up the camera then, and we will walk around and try and show some of the cars and different stuff like that you guys may have questions of. For right now, we're just waiting for everybody to join, and we can get this rolling. So the one thing I was starting to talk about before the test live for you Patreon account members, we just got through the Hershey and Carlisle madness. Hershey we did bigger than help time to focus on other things. Got a fun because it's really just me. So we had a tent this year, which was huge. Ordered up a big tent. Worked out really good. We had a took it pretty much attached it to our trailer. It was really nice. If any that she came to us, had a nice. Thank us. The other thing was we had everything priced and organized this year, so in a space you were able to kind of go through the tables, and for the most part you could touch stuff to see what was there. So working out well. Is everything? I'm going to stand closer. So we need to get a new mic set up apparently.
That one worked. It worked for like 2 lives.
Okay.
There you go. Now you can hear.
I'm going to have to stand close, and we're going to have to just do it that way, unfortunately. So yeah, that's it. Ask some questions. We're going to probably keep this live short because we still suck at the internet. Yours at least sounds a little better.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to talk up a little bit. So any questions other than people telling us that our mic sucks?
No questions right now.
Okay.
Basically just hi from all over the world. We have Spokane, Washington, Brazil, West Georgia, Pittsburgh. We got people joining us from all over.
There you go. All right, good. So we have people from all over. That's cool. I appreciate people that are able to join at weird hours. We kind of like everything we do it whenever it's convenient for us. So it's 10 a.m. on a Sunday is not very convenient for us, but it's kind of the best case scenario for everyone else. We hope, sort of. So if you're on the West Coast or somewhere else far away, it may be an odd time, sorry. But so yeah, so we did Hershey. That was really good. I'll talk about a couple upcoming things while we're quick trying to get things going here. So we're doing the Moultrie, Georgia swap meet again. We're not really vending. We're just going to come down and hang out. We sort of half set up a space last time, but I think it's just, again, we're trying to do too much on the trip, and it's really not worthwhile. So we're going to go and hang out. We're hoping to stop along the way and visit as we're heading south from Pennsylvania all the way down to Georgia, southern Georgia. We're going to be hopefully stopping along the way and visiting some different stuff. I have a couple people I've followed up with that we talked to at Hershey in different places that maybe we can stop either on our way down or even maybe on our way back up and find some neat stuff to show you guys in the video and just do a fun little road trip video. So we have, I think the truck's full this time. We have
the Jasons. The
New Jersey Jasons are coming with, and then Mike and myself. So we got 4 in the truck. I think we're going to bring a little trailer, which may be a curse. I don't know. Sometimes when we bring tools or a trailer that's empty without a goal, it ends up being empty on the way home, which kind of sucks. So hopefully not. We'll see. But we're doing the Moultrie, Georgia swap meet. That'll be super fun. The other big one is we're hoping, as long as California is like still sort of normal, if the Grand National Roadster Show and the Turlock swap meet happen, we're trying to plan our kind of annual trip to Southern California and Central California to do that trip. So again, same deal. If you guys have anything along the way that you think might be interesting or whatever, or you know, if you want to say hello, if you see us anywhere, we will be at those spots just wandering around. You can give us a high five, say hello, whatever, or you know, if you have something interesting to see, we hopefully like to fit it in the trip as possible.
Send us an email.
Yeah, send us an email, irontrapgarage@gmail.com. So that is the best way to send us a message. Commenting on videos is very difficult, so if you try to comment like, hey, I have something for sale, or come see me, a lot of times we answer back and then you don't get the notification. We're pretty good with it, but you may not be. So send us an email. That's the best bet. So that's what's going on with that. I'm trying to think what else.
That's pretty much it.
That's it for travel for the most part. There is a couple of events coming up. Bruce Larson, famous drag racer Bruce Larson, he has an open house coming up that I think is like the 13th of November. I might be wrong, but I think it's like the second weekend in November, I believe. Bruce has his open house, and that is always something that, at least in this part of the world and country, is talked about quite a bit, because a lot of well-known drag cars and old nostalgia cars come up and neat stuff, and Bruce has his collection opened up, which is really, really awesome. And he's a hell of a nice guy for being such a well-known guy. He is very approachable, which is cool. So that's coming up. Trying to think of anything else that's...
Winter's kind of sparse for events
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah, we don't do too many events, and I always joke with people that tell us to go different places in the winter. I don't go anywhere colder than where I'm at when it's winter, so I'm not going like north or...
Wisconsin is a no.
Yeah, Wisconsin, Chicago. Sorry guys, I don't go there. Even for like a really cool car, I don't know if I'll go there.
So we have a few questions.
Okay.
Tom Maxfield would like an update on the Sweetheart Roadster.
Tom, what's going on, Tom? How you doing?
Let's pick you up.
All right, we're gonna try doing this.
We'll travel
So-
this way.
So this is the car. So I have the car flipped around, and we're trying to get ready for winter time for working. As you guys may know, it's always a catch-22 in the winter time. We pretty much just like pull up in the shop and do a lot of more heavy fabrication as we've been getting in the roll of things, where it takes a long time to do a lot of this work. So I've been trying to get stuff ready for different projects to do that. The Sweetheart Roadster is on that list. So you guys notice I have it flipped around. The other side's pretty much done, so to speak, or the majority of the sheet metal fab is mostly done. This side I need to go over. So this winter we're going to be starting on pretty soon, working on this. So that will be, you'll see some updates. We may shoot some additional videos. Like we already shot videos of doing that whole side, but it seems like people really liked those videos showing how to do that stuff. So we may do other videos on kind of the same process, and I'll try and just show maybe some other trials and tribulations along the way, or tips and tricks if I can, as I am figuring it out. The biggest problem is I forgot how the hell I built that door on the other side.
Good thing we did a video.
Good thing we did a video, because I totally have no clue how I did that video. I was just thinking the other day, like, I don't even remember. So that'll be like, that was Matt from another time. So I have to watch my video, and then I think I saved the pattern for the other door, I hope. So that's what's going on with that. I'm hoping this winter to get all the heavy sheet metal work done on this car. So get the wheel wells fixed, the bottom there fixed, the door done, start working on the windshield area, and then I'll be through all the like really annoying like rust repair on this car, and we can get into some of the fun stuff that we're able to shoot a little easier, where we're not doing, you know, the same patch panels 6 times. So that's what's going on with this. I want to get this thing off the table. We've been doing that the Wheels of Time show in Macungie, that's local to us every year, and that show we're trying to, they're nice enough to give us a big tent. So what we're going to start doing is each year bring a car like in progress. So the goal would be maybe next year, if this car is like in bare metal, maybe the engine probably won't be done, but at least it'll be like mocked up. People can check it out and see the car in person, and we'll have some of the driving cars there as well. So that's like sort of gives myself a goal. I hate goals. I hate giving or deadlines rather, but that'll give me like a soft deadline that we can maybe do. So that'll be kind of cool.
It's not really a deadline. It's a project. It can go in any form.
Yeah. So it can go in any form, but I'd like to have like most of the sheet metal work done on this. And you guys can check it out, kind of like the Schroll car was last year, where like the sheet metal work was done, the paint was blended, the engine just wasn't like wired, and we had gaskets to put on and stuff. So that's what's going on with that. I know I've been getting tons of comments of people.
It's the new forgotten hot rod.
It is it's my forgotten hot rod. So I didn't forget about it. I have a good trunk lid. I scored a spring Carlisle.
I think it's in the car actually.
It's in the car. We're going to be selling off this junky one. I should say junky, but it's a little crispy on the bottom and dented. But it's good for if you have a jalopy that you want to throw it on or a good base. So I will be doing that. So good question. Sorry, that was a ramble.
It's okay.
Next question.
Someone asked about painting beautiful.
Zimmerman Paintworks is a local paint supplier that is they're like wizards at.
You can actually see it's polished in the video.
Yeah.
You can, or the camera, you can see the difference.
Yeah, so they've been coming over and doing paint samples. They've scanned the car and they've been trying to get the paint sort of matched because I'm putting on just spraying just the rear fenders and some of the really bad spots and just trying to dust in some of the stuff that's like the whole panel's totally gone for paint. And that's pretty much what we're going to do with the car. And then we're going to polish up the rest of the paint and just leave the car with some age to it. This car is a car that I want to drive for a little while, but to be completely honest, it isn't a forever car. It's not a car like some of these other cars that I plan to keep until you guys buy them. Somebody buys it at my estate auction. This car, I'm probably going to drive for a summer or two and then probably pass it on to somebody else. So for me to do a full-on paint job on this car, I'd rather put my attention towards say the Sweetheart Roadster, and I'm going to paint that car and make that a nice car because it's a car I plan to keep for a long time, if not forever. So that's the type of decisions I have to make sometimes. We have so many projects. I don't disagree that this is a great candidate to sand down and totally restore or repaint, but it's also kind of cool how we found it, and it tells a story. And if we just dress up the paint just a little bit in some of the really bad areas, I think it'll still look really cool with it all painted up and still shiny, but showing some of its bumps and bruises and age. So that's my answer on that. It's a very much argued in the comments of people yelling at me for wrecking this car. I think a bunch of people told me that I totally destroyed this car, that I should never touch any of these cars because I am destroying.
Destructive, very
totally
destructive.
Destroying this car by taking a couple of leaves out of the suspension and putting a slightly larger exhaust that looks like stock on it.
How dare you?
I know. No, it should have sat in the barn and never got touched again until the barn fell in on them.
Yes.
Anyway, so that's that. Do you have any other?
There was a few comments about my 34, but this winter, we got a ways to go yet.
Yeah, Mike's 34. No, kind of. So Mike, we teased it on social media. We got a run stand going over here finally with our scrap metal. So that's a video. When's that coming out?
Tuesday,
the scrap metal free run stand video. I built up last week, kind of last minute was we've been talking about. I'm going to do that this week. So we got a run stand. We ran an engine on there that I sold and got back, and now we sold again. So that's going to be going. But the plan is Mike's going to start working on his engine he got in the background at his house.
Yep.
And giving you guys some updates. And then once he gets it far enough along, he's going to bring it here, get it on the run stand, get it running, blah, blah, blah. Then he knows he has a turnkey engine he can just put in. So, so we're probably going to be shooting a lot of Mike's videos kind of like that because he's sort of working on it at home, sort of here in the shop. So I think it'll be kind of a fun way to show, how a lot of people work on these projects. You tinker, do whatever, and then you have to take the body or the part to a friend's place that maybe has more space or a little more tools than you do, and then you get it further along, and then you take it home and do the rest. So that's kind of like real life, and that's what we're planning to do. So we'll make some room in here, hopefully this winter. Maybe the Pagoda City Coupe or something may go live at Mike's house for a little while, and then we can set up the body, the floor, all that stuff. And we'd like to, by the end of winter, I would like to have his body at least spot welded together so he has a cohesive body that the doors open and shut, and it actually is a body.
Not pieces in my shed.
No pieces in the shed, so that his wife's a little more impressed with what he spent a bunch of money on.
Yes. What is your favorite band?
Favorite band?
Off the top of your head, quick.
God. Well, I'm gonna have to say the first one that probably. Man, that sucks. Well, one of my favorites artists, I would say, is possibly of all time is Dio. Believe it or not. So like Black Sabbath in general is one of my favorite bands, but Black Sabbath Dio, which is an unpopular opinion, I think,
Yes.
is one of my.
I disagree with that as well.
Yeah, like I really like Black Sabbath Dio, maybe because I just as a kid overheard like Ozzy Sabbath so much, but yeah, Dio's one of those ones that like I feel like I can kind of like anything he did for the most part, like as far as shop background music goes, you could put on like the Dio like discography and you could pretty much listen to it all the way through.
Yes.
And it's good. But that's just off the top of my head, that was like one that popped in. Next week might be like, I don't even know. I don't know. But that's kind of like a good all around. Good question.
Someone wants to know when we will see a blooper reel because all of our intros are perfect. Matt's actually very good at intros.
Yeah, so
very, very, very rarely is there a flub up.
Yeah, like I working for quick funny story. I worked for Eastwood obviously for like 11 years, and pretty much 10 of those 11 years, or 10.75 of those 11 years, I was on camera. So like literally, I was only with Eastwood. I don't know, maybe a handful of months, less than a year. We went to SEMA, and I had done some stuff where it was very rough in the. No, I didn't even do anything. I hadn't done any camera stuff. We went to SEMA, and we were doing something with a third-party company that shot video because we didn't have like a video studio or anything yet. And they literally were like, all right, Matt, do an intro at SEMA, like for a video for Eastwood, introducing it. I'd never been on camera like that. I'd never been to SEMA. I'd never been to Vegas.
That's a lot of firsts for one video.
I was dressed up, which is like, I was dressed up, which is totally was weird for me. And they're like, all right, let's go. And I'm like, hey guys. So anyways, fast forward of doing that for like 11 years, I have, not by taking any type of like speech classes or public speaking, just like everything I've learned how to do, I just like forced myself to get better. So I've learned to have there's certain, I don't know, you get patterns when you start talking on camera a lot where you just know, you can like kind of like use fill-in words to kind of talk about anything. So I have a pattern. People sometimes joke, a lot of the intros I say like the same thing because you just get a pattern. It's super quick and easy, and it helps me like off the top of my head say everything. So like all of our videos are totally non-scripted. Like I just literally did it off the top of my head. And as my years went on working for Eastwood, I actually kind of forced them to, I didn't force them, I just like was like, look guys, I can't do the reading off the script or the teleprompter thing. I need to just talk like I would normally talk. So that's why a lot of my videos that I shot for Eastwood were very different than other people that shot videos there, because I was very particular that I wanted to shoot things speaking how I would normally speak and talking like I knew what I was talking about. So if it was a product I didn't know what I was talking about or something else, I tried to shy away because I couldn't really talk about it, or I would just be vague about it because I didn't know what. So yeah, there is a blooper reel though. There's definitely a lot of stuff that Mike can pull that's more from like me working, where like I don't know, like the ones where I like forget to turn the camera off and I'm like taking photos of my.
There's many 30-minute clips of Matt just dicking around the shop doing nothing.
You can hear me in the background like bitching about something.
My favorite one is you and Steve were working, I think, on the Schroll car, and then went to the warehouse because someone came to pick up parts, and it was literally just 10 seconds of you guys working, then you guys hopping in the Red 34, leaving, and you left the camera on for 30 minutes. And it's just nothing for 30 minutes. I'm just sitting there like, is anything going to happen? I think they left.
So that's a good idea. So I think maybe what we can start doing, because we try and listen to you guys when you ask for stuff, maybe we'll do once a year, do a blooper reel. Maybe that's like a good thing for around holiday season, is Mike can put together like a blooper reel. So maybe we'll give you a 2021, like right around Christmas, New Year's time. We could put together a funny blooper reel, because there is like a ton of stuff.
There's going to be a lot of beeps.
There's a lot of beeps. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of like messing up. I don't even know. There's probably a lot of really good stuff. We do actually show a lot of our mess ups because we try and keep this real. So there is a lot of stuff that would normally be on other people's blooper reels. We put it in the video because it is funny and
yes,
reality. So good question.
Quick, go through the cars. Keeper, not keeper.
Oh, good question. Pagoda City Coupe. that has been, a lot of people have tried to buy that. That to me is a keeper. It's kind of like the first traditional hot rod that I actually finished and put on the road. So I had other cars and parts and stuff. I had 50s cars, but that one is kind of special to me, and it's just like a really worn in pair of slippers that I just get into, and even though my toe's sticking out the slipper, I still love it. So that thing's really cool. I just need to do some stuff to just really like refine the car. The things that I dislike about it were stuff that when I first built it, I was like, oh, this thing's awesome, it's super cool. And now I get in, I'm like, this thing rides really rough. Ow, my back hurts. So I need to go through and, so one day we may do a video series one winter where we pull the body back off and kind of go back over it. But I will say, we put it up on the lift. We went through and like rebred the brakes and readjusted the brakes because they were getting mushy. And I looked under the car and like nothing I built was like broken or hanging off. And sometimes you worry when you do these cars, even if you are a proficient welder, you never know when you hit crazy bumps or, you know, going down the Pennsylvania Turnpike and smashing like constantly.
Most people check before 5 years, though. Just want to point that out.
I'm confident. Or neglectful. Anyways, keeper. Beautiful, probably not a keeper. I think this is going to be like, my goal is to make this like a summer daily driver like the Red 34 has been for like a summer or two, and then I'll probably offer it up because something else interesting will come, or maybe we'll have the Mercury on the road and that will be the new one. Don't know. DeLorean Roadster, definitely a keeper. That's pretty much the dream for anybody that gets into hot rodding, whether it's traditional or you're a street rodder. An original 32 Roadster, especially in this world that is an old Dry Lakes car, has history, has all the right stuff. It's it. There's no like pretending to try and make the car look like it was back, like a car would have been in the day. It's it. So that car is a keeper. I actually just bought, there was a huge auction, speed equipment auction in Indiana, and a lot of people were buzzing on the Flathead group who spent a lot of money on the original Jack Henry.
It was Matt.
Intake. So I bought a bunch of intakes, but this was after talking to Jack DeLorean. I think that this car might have had a Jack Henry on it. He was describing the intake to me that it had and was mentioning about it being a water heated intake and the way it looked like a kind of like a stock intake, and it, really the stuff he was saying, I'm like, it really sounds like a Jack Henry. So when that auction came up, I was actually on my way back from Hershey, and I stopped on the side of the road and was bidding on stuff, and that came up, and I won that intake. I spent pretty good money on it, but to be completely honest, there's like almost none of those intakes that exist. There was a small batch of them that were remade from what I understand, and they have like a flange that actually bolts onto the intake, where this is like a stock intake. I'll take it down.
One-handed, too. Very confident.
Put it on top of this car. The shelf. So it is actually cast in one piece, which is really cool. I'm going way off tangent here, but anyway,
This is also a keeper.
this is a keeper. Don't try and buy that. That's a keeper. So that's a keeper. This car I haven't decided on. The Schroll car. When we first I bought this car and the Skelly 34. It was like 100% a keeper because it was my first 32. Now, in the past like 2 years, I've gotten some really crazy cars. Very thankful that we've gotten into some stashes. Anyways, I'm on the fence. I don't know yet. I think currently it's a keeper, but we never know what we're gonna find. But my goal is the same deal. I've never been good at building cars, and then some guys can literally the day it's done and they take it for a test drive, it's for sale like the next day. I'm not good at that. I like to enjoy the cars after I drive them, at least if it's for a couple summers or something. So this one I want to get going. I want to drive the hell out of it. So that's why I've been changing a couple of things that were very drag race specific, like welded spiders, to make it a little more and low gearing and make it something highway friendly so that we can actually drive it a little bit further, because that's something I want to get better at. Is I've been so overwhelmed with just us keeping up with the content on the channel that I hardly am able to go to events. So that'll be something that'll be awesome.
What's up, Kev?
What's up, Kev? We're doing live, and you got donuts. I love it.
It's great.
Sunday service.
And they're Dunkin' Donuts, too. We might as well get sponsored.
We are not. I wish we were sponsored.
I wish.
Anyways, that's in between. Not sure yet. Right now, it's a keeper. Beautiful. Probably sell eventually. Free tea. I would never give anybody that burden in their life of owning that car, because it is most definitely cursed. It is still fighting me. So, yeah. So that's probably a keeper. Sweetheart Roadster. probably a keeper, because by the time it's done, it's going to be very nice. So that's the goal. The Skelly car, that's going to probably get sold. I mentioned it. I think I've alluded to it in a couple videos. I've been talking with the family, and eventually I will probably be selling this to them. Possibly next spring. The goal was to maybe get the beautiful running and driving, so I have another kind of like tame car that I could just cruise around town in and pick parts up and blah blah blah. So that'll probably get sold eventually, maybe next summer. I don't know. The 33 3-window, that's definitely a keeper because that's like going to be my. That'll be the one that people can fight over at my state auction. But
Yes.
that car is getting basically all my best parts, doing the blown art in, have the early quick change for it, and all kinds of neat stuff. So that car I definitely plan on keeping forever. So even though it looks like dog shit right now, it's still it's still pretty cool. And then
32 3-window.
I have a 32 3-window body that's at the warehouse. To be completely honest, I don't know if that's going to be a keeper forever. I'm going to build that car, but it's a similar deal. I don't know yet. There's another 32 3-window I've been chasing for years that an old friend of mine owns, and I would much rather own because it's special to me because a good friend of mine owns it. So it's an old, hot rod. So we don't know. We'll see. Depends how many buildings I can build to keep stuff. So that is the current. Oh, Dad's car. That's not a keeper. Dad's gonna probably drive that for like a handful of summers and then tell me that the exhaust is too loud or he's annoyed or something. So we'll probably, until my dad's bored with it, it'll be a keeper. But the 39 Forgotten Hot Rod, we're going to sell that eventually. That's another thing we did.
Oh, that'll be, where are we going to be selling that? So people can stop asking about the raffle.
I don't know yet, but we're either, because of the legal stuff with doing a raffle, I think we're just going to either sell it outright or we're going to do it like we did in the truck and just put it on eBay, start it at a modest reserve, a starting price, and just let it run, and whatever it goes for, it goes for. So I think that's sometimes the easiest way to do it, because it's really difficult going back and forth with everybody on it. And so yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. But we just got the carburetor back from being rebuilt, the teapot. We got it running. Just got to tune it in just a little bit more, but that fixed the issues. Pretty much the accelerator pump died on it at the end of the summer or middle of the summer, and I stopped driving it much because it was like really hard to pull out because the accelerator pump was just non-existent at this point. So that should fix that. We're going to refine it a little bit, and that will be for sale. I don't know if there's any other cars.
39 Merc.
39 Mercury is, I think, a keeper for now. We're going to do a bunch of videos on that car. We're going to revive that car, get it on the road, do a couple little modifications to it, and then drive it for a while. I would love to someday have a Zephyr, so that's the only reason I hesitate, that it might not be a forever keeper. So, but for now, it's definitely a keeper because I don't think I'm going to find a Zephyr anytime soon. We'll hope, but yeah. So I think that's all the cars.
Yes, that is all. Let's see any other questions.
Is the sound okay? Nobody's like yelling about
Nope.
that? All right.
Updates on the COVID 32 and the meat truck. I'm going to set this down for a minute. My hand hurts. We haven't heard anything on the meat truck, right? It's still in West Virginia?
Meat truck. The guy that bought the meat truck, he basically, what we can tell, was somebody that just buys those neat old trucks and rents them out for events. So somebody alerted me to like a website that had a bunch of my photos of the meat truck up there, where you could like rent it for your wedding, and you can have your favorite housewife stand next to it with a martini and take selfies or whatever, which is not super awesome because I was hoping that somebody would enjoy the truck or do something with it. But hey, at least if it's being stored indoors, I hope, and is taken care of and preserved, that's all we can ask for. He was the highest bidder. I can't do anything about it. Coupe, the gentleman that bought that, he has been tinkering on it. So he has it stored not at his home. I believe it's at his mom's house, which is a little ways away. But he's been, when he visits his mother, I noticed, we're friends on Facebook, so I noticed that he has been doing work to that thing. I think he got some different wheels, and he's been, just touching up a couple of things and kind of getting a game plan. So I know he is definitely, I think that's a keeper for him. So he's just getting parts together and getting the process started. So I hope to see updates on that. But he's definitely been tinkering on it with a low budget. 32 stuff's expensive, so as he's been finding parts for, he's been buying them and trading and whatever else. So But I'm really excited to see that car get saved because it had one foot in the grave, that was for sure.
2021 $20 challenge.
2021, we gave up on that. So I won. I quit my job.
I mean, I quit my job too. Do I
What?
technically back up?
Yeah,
But
but
we
I quit
both
my job
won.
first, and then I hired you.
True.
So I mean, I really won. I had so much good stuff that I had to hire a guy. That's how much I won. No, we just it got once I started to go full time with like my day job being IronTrap Garage. It became very difficult to separate the 2021 challenge things from the business because I was buying in bulk, and that makes it really hard to go on Facebook Marketplace and buy one single item and do it. So it definitely seemed like people enjoyed those videos. I think if I had, now that we're like separating and Mike's handling the business, it might be a little easier for us to do that but if you guys like it, definitely let us know, and we may look into doing it next year. It was a fun thing to do during 2020, especially with COVID, I just wanted to prove to people what you can do with like no money and a bunch of time and how you can get cool stuff, how I got cool stuff. So I think that was accomplished with that video, series of videos. The 2021, we just didn't give it as much focus. We were too spread thin with trying to grow the business. So good question.
Wired Customs asked about the new lift.
What about the new lift?
How's it been working? It's basically been in the same spot since we finished the video.
It's working awesome. That car didn't fall off yet. We have not anchored it to the floor. That is a project that is coming up very, very soon. But the lift works well. Mike's got it all wired up. We got the rocker switch working. Really, the last two things we need to do is anchor it to the floor, and then Mike's going to run the wiring for both lifts up into the ceiling because right now we just have cords. It's really janky. So, but yeah, it seems to work well. But really, that lift is more just a storage lift. That's what it was meant for from the day I got it. It's kind of cumbersome to put a car on, so it's not something I want to use regularly, but it works really well with getting the car up out of the space. Right now we have the run stand under there. I think we're going to put the 33 3-window body under there while we're working on it this winter. So yeah, it surprisingly works really well. I know people were like saying how unsafe it was. Once we started using it and saw how they built like the gear reduction in and has a clutch in it, it's pretty safe, to be honest. I mean, because it has clutches and everything in the gearbox that even if a cable broke, I don't think it would just like bzzz, you die. So we don't want to find out. But anyways, it's been working great.
Someone asked about where did it go? The Hot Rod 101, Hot Rod Engines 101. We're looking forward to when we do the Ford Y block.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Mike and I were just talking about that. Like, we're going to start to up that little bit of series again because I think we got a lot of positive feedback from people that enjoyed, that were looking to get into stuff, or maybe we're already in it, but they didn't know that specific thing we were talking about. So we're going to do some more of those. We were actually just talking about filming in the next week or so a Wheels 101, because that seems to be something that like would constantly, when people are emailing us to buy wheels and different stuff like that, like they don't know what they need or what they can swap or what's what, and a lot of times they're confused, and we end up like not selling them something because they're like telling us what they want to build and what they're asking us for don't match or they won't work. So we're going to do like a Wheels 101 for the Hot Rodding 101. The engines is a good one. The Y block would be a fantastic one. I am definitely not an expert on Y blocks, so
We could bring Jason in. Jason's a Y block
Jason
expert.
He does know a lot more than I do. So I'm going to try and put together a 101. It's kind of just like a need to know type stuff and basics, and then but that'll be a fun one. So we're going to put those together. They take a little more like preparation, which I'm horrible at. Like I have to actually like sit down and put my thoughts together on paper, so it's easy for Mike to edit.
Someone had a good idea. Maybe Steve can try the 2022 $20 challenge since he's now a full-time employee.
He could, but Steve's. So anyways, first, before we
Good
go
segue.
into, we announced it on social media. Steve has been helping us in the background since about February. So you guys may remember, it's been a little less than a year. I did a live and I said, hey guys, I admit I'm super overwhelmed. I've been telling people for like, 3 years, they've been asking to come help, no. So I finally said, yeah, I'm looking for some volunteers, blah, blah, blah. We had a few guys that came and helped. Actually, more than a few people have come. But Steve has been the one that has come like religiously 3 times a week. he stays late, he does whatever, and he's just a really good fit. And to be completely honest, that's what I was looking for when I made that like announcement. It was I was hoping to kind of have somebody to come in, see if the personalities fit, and then build up the business. So we built up the business enough that I can afford to pay Steve.
We hope.
We hope. We hope that Mike can sell enough parts and we can keep going enough. But anyways, so Steve is going to be our new employee starting
Tomorrow.
Welcome, Steve. So Steve's been here. He already knows the deal. He knows where the P tree is. He knows he knows the toolbox. He's a regular. So,
Yes.
But Steve's going to be helping with all the stuff that is the in between that drags down the videos, doing like wiring or finishing up wiring, or all the hours of preparation to even shoot a video. He's going to be helping with a lot of that, and that's going to help us get stuff ready. Getting cars prepped for when we want to actually go to events and stuff. So should be good. So anyways, Steve is going to be kind of stuck in the shop a lot. So we may let him join in on that. But to be completely honest, I think Steve really does just want to wrench on neat old cars. And I don't think he's too interested in like hunting for stuff to flip. But we'll see. I'm sure he's going to be going on adventures with us. That's one thing he wasn't able to do having a day job. Or night job. He was kind of working second shifts. He could go out and go on these adventures to go to auctions and picks. So I'm sure inevitably he will pick up something that he will turn into cash. So maybe.
We should go over our trips again because we did that real early in the video. And someone asked about Dad's Daily.
Okay, trips. End of the year, we generally do 1 or 2 events. And with wintertime coming, we don't travel as much. So number 1, we usually do the Moultrie, Georgia trip. I know a lot of people ask us about Turkey Rod Run, which is over Thanksgiving. That just doesn't work with like everybody. Like I could probably go because I don't have like a crazy family schedule stuff. But with other friends that go on trips with us, they really can't go, and it's just difficult. So we found that Moultrie is kind of like the best case scenario for us. So we're going to be doing Moultrie again, which is I think the 3rd week in November.
It's a week before Thanksgiving.
Week before Thanksgiving, we do that. So we're going to be traveling south. So again, if you guys have something that might be interesting for us to see, look at, whatever, visit, cool collection, meet old historic hot rod, whatever. We are heading from Pennsylvania down to Georgia. We may even hit northern Florida a little bit. Hit us up. We may do Georgia, Tennessee. We don't really know yet. But I have a couple leads. So
Send us an email. Don't comment, please.
Yeah, don't comment. Just send us an email, irontrapgarage@gmail.com. Comments usually get lost, especially in the lives. The other thing is, as long as California stays open and they don't flip upside down on closing events, we're hoping to do Turtle Lock Swap Meet in January, as well as the Grand National Roadster Show. Super excited to go do those, see friends that we only see once a year. So that's going to be a really, really fun time. So again, same deal. If you're in Central Cali, all the way down to Southern Cali, we will be road tripping and running around and having a lot of fun. And we'd love to stop and see you if we can on the way. If you have, again, something interesting, big stash, or a really neat car that we should see that people don't know about. So just send us an email if you're interested. That's the 2 big events for traveling at least.
Basically until March, probably?
Yeah, probably till March. We're hoping to do Charlotte, as long as Charlotte doesn't get canceled. Spring Charlotte is one of my favorite swap meets, so we're hoping to do that. I usually go down and just ride along with some other guys, but we're going to try and go again this year, next year, so that'll be a good one. We'll be there for a couple days, few days. We may drag it out into a slightly longer trip where, again, we could stop and see some people and visit and hang out, which will be a really good time. That's kind of the big stuff I could think of. If there's something you really think we should hit, let us know. Portland is one we get like every video people tell us about.
Portland, Pate.
Yeah, we want to hit those, but I know they like Portland's on this. I think it's the same time as Charlotte, maybe.
Yeah.
So that one's always a tough one. Anyway, so that's some of the traveling that's coming up. Otherwise, we're going to be hunkered down in the shop, just trying to get some of the heavier fab work done on some of these projects to get some bigger updates going. So should be fun.
Dad's Daily update.
Dad's Daily. Oh, I'm going this Friday. We had a nice viewer that had emailed us quite a while ago offering up a small block Ford that he pulled out of his own car. So it was a good running engine. I kind of was like, nah, our engine's good. I don't need another small block Ford. Well, then I emailed him immediately after we filmed that video where the engine was all worn out and said, hey, know this is like 3 months ago you said this, but hey, can we maybe get that engine? So luckily he still has it, so he's in New Jersey. So we're gonna be going up to Jersey, up right near where one of the Jersey Jasons lives, near Sparta. Jason's in Sparta, so it's one of the neighboring towns. Gentleman had it in it was in a 32.3 window that he drove around, known good engine with a C4, and he's basically going to donate that engine, but we're going to force some kind of merch or something on him because I can't just take it. And we're going to bring that back here, and then hopefully just do what we were hoping to do on the other engine, freshen it up a little bit, put it in my dad's car. My dad was super bummed. I will definitely admit that. It actually kind of broke my heart a little bit. My dad, before he left to go back to Florida, was like, kind of said to me, he was pretty disappointed that we didn't get to work on his car together. And it was just that he was helping me grow the business before Mike went on full time. My dad was doing what Mike is doing, taking cleaning parts, boxing, doing all that stuff. And we didn't really literally have time to work on his car, which is kind of a bummer, but that's just how things were working. So we're hoping that we can get, before full winter hits, get that engine and trans in the car, get it moving under its own power, and then over the winter we can pull it in, do wiring, finish up all that stuff, and maybe by spring, when my dad comes back, it'll be a running car that we can just kind of do the final stuff on. So we also had a nice viewer that gave us a, that hooked us up with for low cost, or cost of shipping, I don't remember, set of seats for the car. So they're sitting at the warehouse, still wrapped up. They will work out pretty good. So thank you again for that. If I haven't already, thank you. So yeah, that's pretty much where it's at. I got like all the parts. It's literally just like that engine thing kind of killed my plans for the car. So we'll hopefully be moving along on that. So good question.
Somebody commented about the Gilmore, if you're doing another workshop class. And then Josh Russell from the Gilmore asked, yes, would you be interested in doing a workshop class?
Hey Josh, I would love to do a class. I love Michigan. It's really kind of funny that without planning it, like that's like going to become our second home, because we are like, in fact, we were supposed to go film a video. I was supposed to leave for Michigan tonight to go film a video, and my co-pilot that was supposed to go with, the volunteer, he got sick and couldn't make it, and I had to cancel the trip because I needed an extra helper and it was last minute. So we're like, for whatever reason, always going to Michigan. So yes, I would love to do that. Definitely, if we can make it a time when we could ride in the boat with Josh.
We have to go in the summer.
Let's go in like a warm time. But yeah, even if it's in the winter or the early spring or whatever, that would be really cool. We definitely enjoy going to Michigan. It's a beautiful state. And there's a ton of hot rodding and cool car stuff in general going on there. So yes, I would love to do another one. If there's a topic or something you'd like to see, I would love to do another class there. It was a ton of fun, and they had a really nice facility there. And I think it was a good day, and hopefully we can get even more people there. Good question.
Question a while back was insurance for your vehicles.
We're not sponsored.
I know.
Listen up, Haggerty. Hook me up. No, we've partnered with Haggerty a couple times. They've been, so anyways, I use Haggerty. Haggerty seems to be, like, for me, the easiest to deal with. I feel like people only really have a problem with insurance companies when you have an accident and they don't pay out. Well, no insurance company wants to pay out. So I use Haggerty because they're, like, super simple, because, like, again, I'm not very good at planning. So, like, I'll literally get a car running and driving and want to take it around the block, like, now. And I'll call Haggerty while the car's like idling and be like, hey guys, I want to put this car on my insurance. And usually within like 15 minutes, I can have the car insured and we can take it out and run it around. So they're very good with that. The rates are pretty good. And also they've been very nice to support us by sharing some of our like barn find and adventure videos. They've been really awesome in sharing them on the blog. So I feel good about a company that's investing in the hobby so much. So that's who I use.
We had a few questions about the garage.
Oh, the upstairs, the second story. So yes, I mentioned it in I don't know, maybe the last live or somewhere. I alluded
we did it in the vlog, I think.
In the vlog. So I signed a contract to send the first payment for the second story of the shop. We're using Pioneer Pole Buildings, which is a pretty big company around here. They're a little more expensive than others, but after getting jerked around by a bunch of other companies trying to save money, Pioneer was the one that was super like easy to deal with and made the process. They seemed like they would get stuff done, especially me doing something a little different. So they are currently working on the permits and all that stuff. I had them handle that. They sent me a drawing, which I don't think we've posted yet, but it's really cool. So we're going to be getting that built. The second story on here, hopefully over this winter is the goal. So the way they're going to do the building, it will not disrupt working in the shop. Hopefully it'll just be a couple of days where they will be doing a little bit of sawing around the roof to put some plates down and mount it up. So we will have that second story put up. It's going to be the whole footprint of the roof, which is actually bigger than this shop. The shop has, I think the Pioneer guys told me they measure the walls, they're 3 foot thick. So the walls are actually 3 foot thick on either side. So it's a 50 by 40 building minus 3 foot on all sides, or 3 sides rather. So the footprint of the upstairs will be a lot bigger because the way the building's being built, like a pole barn or stick-built building, we won't have 3 foot thick.
I'm sure you'll put 3 foot worth of stuff around the outside
Yeah, it'll
walls.
be 3 foot. Anyways,
It's the same footprint.
it'll seem bigger. So yeah, that's going up. That's why I've been lately. You've been seeing some 32 grills and some speed equipment being going up for sale, because I've kind of had to break up with some of that stuff because I've had a lot of big purchases going on with the building. We haven't got a question about it yet, but I'll mention it. The Arden, Ron called me the other day. He is going to be getting going on building my Arden this winter over the next coming months. So I need to obviously have some money set aside for parts and labor and all that stuff. So I need to, just make sure that I'm doing responsible things. I don't need 37, 32 grills. So we've been selling off some of them, some of the intakes and random crap I bought over the years that I bought at a good price. I can sell for a profit and it adds up. So that's my long drawn out stuff. So
Cars, they'll be going upstairs.
yeah, so upstairs, that's the plan. Sorry, I didn't understand the question fully. We're planning to put the drivable cars upstairs, or stuff that's in storage is the plan right now. So right now the big problem we're having is we're working around drivable cars. So we have to cover them up, move them outside, and we're always wandering around these cars while we're working. So the goal would be to have like pretty much anything that runs and drives on its own power that we're not working on like heavily will be up there. So that way you can just hop in, you can go. Also, the cars that are in here that I'm driving, they're not covered in dust from working all the time and this old building. So we'll have there. I'll also be putting like some of the speed equipment and stuff. I put a lot of that away when we put the lift up, with hopes that we'll be displaying that stuff up there. So that'll be cool to kind of have everything organized and displayed in a nice manner. But it's going to take time because we need to insulate it. I want to put a hardwood floor, but like barnwood floor upstairs, down. So some of that stuff's going to take time with money. So right now the goal is just to get the building up, get the kind of like the entry to the building built, and then I can just get some cars up there and out of the way. And then as we make money, we'll do things to the building. That's the goal. So yeah, super excited for that. Not for paying for it, but
Yeah.
the building is awesome.
You want to mention calendars?
Oh, calendars. Yes, we had a really, really good response to 2021 calendars for this year. So we're way more organized this year. We're going to be doing a 2022 calendar. Again, we did a limited supply last year, I think of 200.
Yes.
And they literally sold out so fast, people were angry with us. They were like shouting at us because they waited. We told them we only have 200, not a scheme, and we only had 200, and they sold out. In fact, we sold so many that I had to take, I think your calendar.
I don't have a calendar.
Yeah, we had to like take our own calendars and send them to customers because we like somehow oversold or something. So yeah, I think that didn't work out so well. So we're going to be doing more calendars this year, but we're still going to do a limited supply. We may do like 400 or 500 or something. So when we post them up, I think we're going to do them on Black Friday. Maybe?
Yeah, it'll be either Black Friday or the week before they'll go up for sale.
So we're going to be doing some kind of Black Friday type like deal on merch. So we may launch the calendar then as well. So if you want one, definitely, this isn't a sales pitch, I don't give a shit. Like if you just buy one or don't buy one, I don't care, but don't yell at me. I'm giving you notice.
Yes. Long sleeves that Matt is wearing, they're on order. They should be here before Black Friday.
Oh yeah, Kate needs a long sleeve. She's been shouting at me.
Oh, I have a bunch for her.
Okay.
She's small, correct? I think I have.
Medium, I think.
I gotta see, well, I might. But we have long sleeves on order, and beanies I'll be picking up this week.
So long sleeve sold out.
Basically, the bigger sizes, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, we sold like merch like crazy at Hershey and Carlisle. So we thought we had enough to get us to Black Friday. time, and then we were gonna order in, thinking of Black Friday, but we have to do another order in between because they sold so well at Hershey, which is awesome. The long sleeve shirts, which was kind of Mike was pushing for, and I was not as excited for,
And
did really well.
You're wearing one.
I am wearing one, my only one. So yeah, so these are cool. They have the flag logo and the design down it. Just something. We thought would be cool.
Yes.
So anyway, so yeah, we'll have all that stuff restocked. Black Friday, we're gonna do some kind of discount and be launching the calendar. So if you want the calendar, make sure on Black Friday, take a look at our web store, the Big Cartel, and then you can grab one.
We've been on for about 50 minutes.
All right, so I think that's pretty much everything. Sorry again for the technical difficulties, at least Mike's phone, hopefully you guys could hear a little bit better. We have a bunch of really neat videos coming up with some of the car stuff that's going on, and a lot of heavy fab. And if you guys like the videos about the fact, like the more project updates and more technical stuff, that's how we seem to be rolling now with videos. So the wintertime, we'll be seeing a lot more of that with less of the like travel, whatever type stuff, as much of that thrown in. So we'll definitely doing a lot of that with Steve helping. It's gonna be super awesome. So definitely, if you see Steve in a video, give him some love. He is a really great guy, and you can also give him some hell too, but give him some love. I don't even know if he reads the comments. Steve doesn't internet very much, believe it or not. He watches the videos, but he doesn't internet on it. So anyways, that's it. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Hope you have a great Sunday or Monday. See you later.